Hey guys and girls, welcome to Watching Watches once again. And I've kind of lost track a little bit of where I'm up to in terms of my videos. I did have a bit of a torrid time the past few weeks with watches which I had purchased on eBay and which have turned out to be either fake or just having serious issues. So they've all gone back. So I'm now I think it was started off with the Tissot, the T-Race, which has thankfully all been sorted. It's gone back. I've had my refund after a little bit of argy-bargy, but we got there in the end. I then bought that tag, which obviously turned out to be fake. I then bought another tag, a vintage Formula 1, which turned out to have a problem with the crown. Sent that back, and that's only just gone back, so I'm waiting on that refund. And finally I have bought a Seiko which has come in. This is the SPB299J1, which is the Save the Ocean Glacier. Seiko brought out three in this range of reinterpretations, or whatever you want to call them, reintroductions. Three different models, one of them being the SPB299J1, or the 299 anyway. Some people calling it the what are they calling it, the something master 200. I forget what they call it now. Is it a speed master? No, it's not speed master, it's something master, something master, marine master, that's it, marine master 200. So you've got the marine master 300, so it's kind of being nicknamed the 200, basically a smaller version of that, but this one is the Glacier. So it means that it has this beautiful dial which kind of mimics, or at least hints towards, alludes to the Glaciers. Anyway, here's the watch. So I haven't got the box and I haven't done an unboxing and all of that. I have actually recorded previously an unboxing video which I kind of went on quite a bit about my concerns whether it was real or not, because I'd been quite jaded through my previous experiences in the last couple of weeks. But having spent time with the watch now, I'm reasonably confident that it's a genuine watch, and I would say 99.9%. There's always that little slight glimmer of doubt, but generally speaking, I'm pretty sure it's a legitimate watch. I've checked the movement. The movement's correct, so it looks right as well. It feels right as well on the wrist, so I have no concerns really. So I'm happy to just show the watch as it's not a review as such, but just some first impressions. So this has the 6R35 movement. That movement is essentially the same as the 4R, but the 4R is a 40-odd hour power reserve, and this one has a 70-odd hour power reserve. Essentially the same movement. Plus 25, minus 15 is the quoted, but generally speaking they're accepted to be more reliable than that. It's automatic, obviously, as manual winding, and it has a stop second function. So that's all the basics kind of thing. Sapphire crystal. It has an anti-reflective coating on the inside of the lens. Hands and indices are Lumibright applied and coated with Lumibright, and it has a threefold clasp. I'll show you that in a minute. Thickness of it is 12.5, although when I measured it with my micrometer I got closer to 13.5, so I'm not sure which part of the watch they're measuring exactly. Perhaps they're not taking into account this very slight doming to the bezel insert there, so maybe it's just to the crystal, I don't know. But this is it's a special edition, being that it's the Glacier one, and rotating bezel. Yeah, I think that's pretty much enough of the specs. We'll get a good look at the watch, so you can see these beautiful sort of undulations on the dial. That texture there, that's presumably stamped out, but still very, very nice. It's got a starburst, or sunburst rather, so it does sort of move with the light. It's an interesting texture because at some angles it kind of flattens out and you don't see those textures, and at other angles they're very, very apparent. The second hand also has that little pip of the same blue color underneath the Lumi Bright there, which is very nice. Also, you notice as well that the outer edge of the sapphire crystal is beveled, which creates this kind of index almost around the outer edge of the dial. The rotating bezel, the insert is stainless steel as far as I know, and it's covered with some kind of glossy coating, possibly the same dia shield as the strap has. Possibly, I don't know. There's not a lot of information out there about it other than the fact that it's not ceramic, but it is very glossy, and when you look at it like that, it does look black, but it is in fact a very deep blue, and it does come out in certain lights, certainly, you know, outdoors, that kind of thing. It does, you do get that little bit of a hint of blue, which really, really looks very, very nice. It looks very classy. Here you can see on the side that very, very highly polished strip there. You've got a mixture of surfaces on this, of brushed and polished surfaces. This surface here on that side and on the other side, as far as I'm aware, is Zuratsu polishing. There are other polished edges, but those I believe are not. Let's get it off the cushion. Crown at 4 o'clock. So there you can see that beautiful highly polished edge which comes around on the lugs there, but you've also got polished edges on the links, on the solid links. I don't know if that's also Zuratsu or not. I think not. And you also got on the inside edges of the center links on the bracelet are also polished. The center link, the center sort of piece of the links is also very, very slightly raised, which helps to give it a little bit of a 3D effect, that bracelet, and it just looks very, very nice. There are some marks on the watch because I bought this used. I got it for an amazing price, which I'm very happy about. We have a milled middle section of the clasp. The outer, this one here is I believe that's, yeah, that's going to be stamped. One area which I think leaves me a little bit cold is the extension. The extension, the diver extension, it's extremely, I mean, it's not flimsy because that's never going to come apart, but it just, there's a lot of flex in it and it just feels very cheap. I get that it has to be very thin in order to make it workable and foldable, and so it can hide away quite neatly in there, but still it just feels, just doesn't feel high end. Excuse my gobbledygook. It just doesn't feel high end, but it's hidden away most of the time. I'm quite used to this whole arrangement. Not everybody likes it. It's quite sort of bulky, you know, from there to there. But I have it on my King Turtle as well, which I'm quite used to. It actually makes for a very comfortable wear on the wrist. As I say, I've worn this now for a short while, and it's very, very comfortable to wear. It doesn't feel too bulky. If I compare it to my King Turtle, which I'll just grab out of my winder, see, it also has that arrangement there. I've had this King Turtle now for just over 2 years, maybe 2 years and 3 months, something like that. It's actually considerably bigger than the Glacier, and despite that, this still feels very, very comfortable. Very similar blue color there actually on the bezel to that dial. It's not quite Tiffany blue, but not far off. Tiffany blue is a little bit too light for me anyway, but this is actually a really good sort of a happy area, kind of between being too light and too dark. But to be honest with you, I would prefer it still to have been a little bit darker than that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I haven't actually held these side by side, and it is considerably bigger. Obviously the cushion case makes it look quite a bit bigger, but it is bigger. But it feels very comfortable, very, very comfortable indeed. It's probably a little bit taller as well. There was one point I just wanted to make about that I wasn't entirely happy with. I mean, you've got the lining up of the bezel is typical Seiko. It's very, very slightly off, but it is really not something which bothers me too much. I think that's basically it. I think that is basically it. I'm trying to remember how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 120 clicks on the bezel. The coating on the bracelet does seem to work. I mean, I had the same coating on my Presage sharp edge, which I no longer have, but it really does work. I mean, the sharp edge I had for not a huge amount of time. I had it for maybe a few months, but you didn't see a single mark on it. And this one, I think, has got a few little marks on it, but it was probably worn quite a bit. Anyway, so that is just a brief look on the SPB299. It's a very, very nice watch, and it really does cross over between being a dress watch and a tool watch. It's obviously big and bulky, not as bulky as that as we just saw, but it is quite big for a dress watch, but it can pass as a dress watch because of how good looking it is. There's enough shiny areas on it as well, and it's not too bulky. It can pass off as a dress watch. You could certainly wear it with a dress outfit and not feel uncomfortable. It's really not something which has ever bothered me in the past anyway. I'd be more than happy to wear this dressed up. I have absolutely no problem with that. I'm not into that I have to wear a dress watch when I'm in formal wear. It's just not my scene. I'm not fussy about that kind of thing. If I'm happy wearing a watch, I'll wear it, whatever. I don't necessarily feel the need to conform to that. I have a dress watch that I have, the Seiko one anyway, is the Presage cocktail hour, the blue one. I had the green one to start with, and then got the blue, and then decided not to keep the green, so that one's gone. This is a lovely dress watch, and you know, it makes sense that it's a dress watch because it has the Hardlex crystal, which is really a bit of a scratch magnet, so I'm very careful with this watch. I don't want to get it all scratched up. I've also even looked into getting this upgraded to sapphire, but as long as it looks clean like it does now, I'm not really too fussed. So I'm looking after it. I love this crown. I love the fact that it's not a screw down crown, so that I can wind it without any hassle at all. I like that it's signed, which all of the diver watches are not signed. Anyway, all the ones that I've come across are not signed. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but you know, even this, which is at the higher end of the diver watches, is not signed, which is, I'm a bit flummoxed by that, but it doesn't bother me, but it's just interesting. On the back you have, it says here, special edition. You've got the X of Prospex. It's got the serial number and the movement number, sapphire crystal, 200 meters, and you've got the wave there. Yep, so that's it pretty much. SPB299 Glacier edition. It's a beautiful watch. If you're in the market for that kind of watch, for a nice, good quality, dressy dive watch, then I would certainly recommend this watch. Is it worth the retail price? In my opinion, no. I didn't pay anywhere near. I paid way less than half the retail price. I really got it for an amazing price. That was the only real reason why I doubted whether it was legit or not, because of that price. But having looked at it extensively, even to the extent of taking the back off and checking the movement, I'm pretty sure that it is legit. So I just got a great deal for a change. You can see them on eBay. There aren't that many on eBay. There are a couple here in the UK, and they're around the £700-800 mark. I would say at that point it is worth that money. I wouldn't pay north of £850, £800. I wouldn't pay more than that personally, unless you're really fussy about getting things brand new. But at the moment they retail here, the official retail price I think is £12.50. You can get them for around 1100 retail, 1120, 1150, something like that. But personally, the difference in quality between this and that is there, but it's not huge. This one, because it's a special edition, Paddy edition, so it has a sapphire crystal, which is quite unusual for Seiko, for the diver watches at the sort of lower end. And it has that Cyclops, which, you know, that kind of splits opinions on whether you like the Cyclops or not. I'm okay either way. I'd have preferred it without, but I'm okay with it. But as I say, it has the sapphire crystal, but even more surprisingly, it has a ceramic bezel insert, which is very cool. I really do like this watch. This watch, as far as I can tell, this watch is staying with me. And I also got this, very fortunately, at a great price. I bought this retail in a department store at 50%. I don't know if they were just clearing out or whatever, but this retailed at £600, and I got it for 300. So even more reason why I'm holding on to it. So there we go. Anyway, that's that watch there. I'm droning on now. Hope you've enjoyed that video. Feel free to leave a comment. I will catch you on the next one.